Hello, and welcome back to Ginger², the best podcast on the internet right now.
It's been a while. We had a little bit of a winter break.
And
Spring.
Spring.
Not half a spring. Spring just started like today or yesterday.
Okay,
or
technically, but
So anyway, what really happened was not I was lazy. Definitely wasn't that. What the real problem was, my MacBook had an unfortunate and sudden mishap.
you're not really giving it enough detail. Please go into detail.
The main computer I've used for the last few years, I have a few computers, but the main one I use for my creative purposes. What did you just say?
A few.
Okay. The main computer I use for my creative purposes, such as this podcast, was a MacBook Pro from 2013. And that was the one I also brought to school day to day to type things and do my work
Whatnot.
on a daily basis. And unfortunately, during the commute from school, all the wear and tear that takes place, the high school life, the teenager life, in fact, it unfortunately and unexpectedly, it passed away about a month back.
I feel like you're still not giving it enough detail.
So when that happened, we were unable to not only film this podcast, not only that, but okay, so here's the real lowdown.
Yeah, can we talk about what actually happened?
So I'm a very systematic guy, okay? For the last 2 years, every morning when I go to school, second period, I consume a bagel with cream cheese. It's either blueberry, cinnamon raisin, or plain bagel, always plain cream cheese. And then I also consume a banana, and I drink that down with water. Now, the problem was, a couple Fridays back, I wasn't feeling well. I was drinking Pepto-Bismol. And I actually got in trouble for that. We'll hit that in a little bit. But so I was drinking Pepto. My stomach was upset. I was kind of sick. So I was like, hey, don't need the potassium. We'll skip the banana today. So I didn't consume the banana that day. Now, normally this would be okay. But I said, I'll leave the banana here. I'll get it out when I get home from school. It happened to be early release that day. When home came around, I forgot about said banana, and it was on a Friday. So, of course, we also didn't have school on Monday. Was it that weekend?
Yeah.
We had 3 days off and then another 3/4 of a day off. I call it a 15 over 4 day weekend. That's not important. But anyway, the point is, and I'm sure you've put this together by now, the banana stayed in there for 4 or 5 days at the bottom of my backpack. And well, after 4 days of vacation, the top of my mind is not, let's clean out the backpack, see what's going on in there. So of course I did not. Then Tuesday morning came around the next week, and just like any other morning, I put my laptop in my bag, shove it right in there because I'm in a hurry in the morning. And the laptop has its own, so there's the main pocket of the backpack, and then there's a little pocket inside that where the laptop slides in, and the other stuff is on the other side. There's a divider that divides the computer and my binders. And so little did I know, there was a banana at the bottom of the laptop sleeve, slowly getting smushed into my laptop. But not any of my schoolwork. Thankfully, that's all fine.
Thank God.
That didn't get harmed at all. But so, I still didn't know about it. For some reason, didn't smell it. Probably because it was at the way bottom, and I don't go in my backpack all that often because, what could I possibly need in my backpack?
Of course.
And so I went through the day, didn't even notice it. I just happened to not use my computer that day. If I would have pulled it out at school, probably would have been quite upset in the middle of the school day. But it just happened that I didn't pull it out until I got home. And it was about 20 minutes after I got home, actually probably right about where we're sitting right now, is where I pulled out my backpack or my laptop to do some work on it. And I had realized the tragedy that took place. And let me describe it for you. There was rotten banana all over the MacBook. It was under the keyboard, and it had lodged itself into all of the peripheral ports on the side. The whole side of the computer was filled with rotten banana. And now what you may think was, hey, he better clean that off. That's what I thought too. What was not on the top of my mind was the liquid damage that would be taking place inside the laptop. Because, why would that be on the top of my mind? I wanted to get the rotten banana off. So I continued to clean it, took the whole laptop apart, I had compressed air. I was shooting rotten banana bits out of the ports. I got it pretty clean. And then it worked. It turned on, and the next day it was fine. Unfortunately, there must have been some internal liquid damage that happened unbeknownst to me. Not really unbeknownst to me. I should have known it happened. But after that day, she never turned on again.
So we lost the third podcast.
So not only did we lose the third podcast we filmed, but I lost every file I've ever created in the last 5 years. Now, let me tell you, about 5 years ago is when I started doing graphic design, web design, making videos. So literally every file I ever had is gone. Now, you might think, wow, Trey, bet you wished you backed up the drive and that one day it was working. And yeah, I do wish I backed up the drive and that one day it was working.
Sad.
It's unfortunate that I did not do that. Probably should have.
Tears coming to his eyes right now.
Oh, well. And now you're probably thinking, hey, there's probably a way to extract the files. And you're probably right. The problem is I would have to get the SSDs and the Macs are specific, and I would have to get something that converts that input to one that would be compatible with another Mac. Because the files are formatted in Mac. You can't just convert a file from Mac to Windows. You'd have to reformat it. So I'd have to borrow like Haley's Mac and then convert the files onto that. But the problem is, before I could do that, I would have to take the whole Mac apart and salvage the hard drive, which I wouldn't be able to put back in. And so I might do it at some point. I'd have to invest probably.
The third podcast.
It'd probably be about
and all your
$20
files.
in an adapter. Yeah, all Delaney cares about is the lost podcast, not the rest of my life that was tragically lost. That's cool. But anyway,
Sorry.
that's what happened to my laptop. And for those of you who don't know me, my whole life is actually centered around electronics
technology.
and creativity. And so when that happened, I'm not gonna lie, it was a low point.
A little bit. Oh yeah, I took some gracious pictures of Trey in his various classes, and he was sprawled out amongst the chairs.
Do you still have them?
I'm not sure.
You didn't save it?
I'm not
It's
sure.
probably on Snapchat.
But just staring off into the distance, looking so solemn. Just
I'm not gonna
looking
lie,
dead inside,
it
really.
gave me a new perspective on life. I started to appreciate the simple things. I would sit outside, listen to nature.
Yeah.
Now, was it probably the most boring experience of my life? Without a doubt. But that's not what it's about. I proved to myself that I don't need technology to be happy. And then
Proud of you.
so I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the lowest point in my life, those 4 days. I didn't really know what to do with myself. I got home and then I turned on the television, which I never.
You are so brave. Can I just say
Do you
that?
know how often I turn on standard programming television?
Oh my God.
Probably
How
once every 2 years. And I bet a lot of people are the same because Netflix and YouTube
amazing
is sort of the norm.
What you've been through.
I mean, honestly, the courage that required. Now, you might think, wow, what a fucking wimp. But now also think
You're
about
not a wimp.
think about the biggest passion in your life. Think about, say
Okay.
you play saxophone and you spend probably like 3 hours a day just practicing saxophone. You're in a symphonic ensemble and you just, saxophone is your life. You go to IMEA, you're one of the best in the state. And then think about a banana getting shoved right into your fucking saxophone. All right. And then boom, your saxophone that you spent, I don't know, $3,000 on, ruined. And then not only that, but then you can't play saxophone for a week, even though saxophone has become your life. And then also think of all the music you ever created on that saxophone erased from time, just to level that out. So anyway, this is making me upset. So what happened is
sad.
the next weekend I proceeded to go out and get a new laptop. It's not a Mac because for my school next year I needed a non-Mac. So I purchased a new laptop. That's fine. I actually like it better than the Mac. And I bought a case for it that is waterproof, which translates to banana proof. So that will no longer be a problem.
There you go.
Lesson learned, I destroyed a $3,000 computer with a 20-cent banana.
Probably even less.
Won't be doing that again. So anyway. Oh, the Pepto-Bismol. So
yeah, the
so I wasn't feeling that well that day. So I had Pepto-Bismol. It's like Tums, but liquid form. It's an acid neutralizer. It's basically chalk with water added. Have you had Pepto-Bismol?
No.
It literally tastes like chalk because that's what it's meant to do. It neutralizes
Looks
the
sweet.
acids in your stomach. It's sweet. And I was drinking this, and we had a substitute teacher, and I was taking a swig of Pepto because, you know, that's what you do when you're sick and your stomach's having a civil war inside. So I'm swigging my Pepto-Bismol, and the sub goes, whoa. And I turn while I'm swigging my Pepto, and he's like, is that Pepto-Bismol? And I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling well. And he was like, put that away. You can't have that. And I was like, well, shit, I didn't realize there was a gateway drug. You know, Pepto today, heroin tomorrow. Seriously.
I don't know. It's just a rule. You can't have medicine.
NyQuil, I would understand because you have to be 18 to buy NyQuil. It has alcohol in it. But Pepto-Bismol, literally, you could probably drink the whole bottle and all you would have is diarrhea. I don't think it has, like...
Yeah, it doesn't have any effect on, like...
It just neutralizes the acids in your stomach. It's meant to
on,
calm
like,
your stomach.
brain or anything, like drowsiness or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not... It couldn't be used to give you any pleasure unless you really like taking massive shits. So, like, I don't really understand why... I was like, yeah, well, shit. Don't look in my locker. There's Tums in there. You can arrest my ass.
I get scared of that, but that's because
So,
sometimes bring...
So, anywho, that's what happened with that. The podcast is back. We're in a different side of the room today.
Oh, I also have a sad story to
Go
talk
ahead.
about. So, you know, this whole upset about Trey's laptop was happening around the time that I found out that I was rejected from Chicago. And if you remember a little while back, you saw the rap I sent in, and apparently it was a no from them. Which, you know, is completely fine. I'm okay. I don't know what I said on the podcast, but it was pretty much all a misunderstanding. I did not want to go to Chicago at all, actually. No, not at all.
You wanted to do performance, didn't you?
No.
I think you wanted to be a performer.
I wanted to dance.
Yeah.
Still want to dance.
Dancing is performance.
I know. But I didn't want to major in that.
Mm.
Probably major in something like...
I gotcha. Well,
I don't know.
Chicago didn't need you anyway.
Yeah, can we just insert the rap a little bit here?
Sure.
We built this shit from the ground up. That's why we earn every fucking dub. Soon they knew my name. Yeah, they know my name. I'm basking in the fame. Got the lead part in the play and host our pep assemblies. Yeah, I'm procrastination prone, but I still pull up in the zone like I'm Post Malone. A little ugly, but not alone, and it's all I know. Eat syllables like a staccato, and that's all I know. All I know. All I know now based on what I bring, I stay seated like a motherfucking king. A goddess in ancient Greece, use wisdom like Athena D. Wells brings the peace.
Honestly, I don't know what they didn't like about that. I thought it was a work of art.
It could have been the swears. It might have been too much, you know?
The pinnacle of creativity.
I don't know if they know who Post Malone is.
Well, it's
Maybe
possible.
they Googled it. Hope they didn't. Oh, God. Yeah.
Well,
What are you gonna do?
it is what it is.
I just wanted to update you guys since
You went to New York for a week.
I did. I went to New York for a week for the Commission on the Status of Women for the United Nations.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty fun. Okay. I don't know if anyone else is like me, but like fangirling over like these politicians and like high level, you know, diplomats and ministers, whatever it may be, from other countries. Wow. It just gets my heart racing, you know?
What gets your heart racing?
Seeing them.
Seeing
Being
them?
in the same room as them, you know?
Okay. Well,
Like Antonio Gutierrez, insert picture here. He is the General Secretary of the United Nations, and I was a foot away from him. Okay. Boom. You know, just like, wow, you know, really puts your life into perspective. I actually have a fun story to tell that doesn't involve, like, boring politicians. They're not boring to me, but they might be boring to you. I don't know. Anyway, so Bridget is my friend who went to the seminar with me. We were supposed to go to this party for the teen delegates that were from across the country and everything. But we were already late to it because we were already at a different event for the Nordic countries or whatever. So I was scrolling through the CSW app, which is Commission on Status of Women, and I found an event that was like racing towards equality, and it was put on by the United Nations, like UN Women, the Olympic Committee, PNG, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. So I asked the front desk lady at the United Nations headquarters, and she's like, oh, you had to RSVP for that 2 weeks ago or something like that. And it's not even in the United Nations. It's across the street in the UN Plaza in the hotel. So we were like bummed out and stuff. We were like, oh, whatever. So we started heading our way down towards the party for the teen delegates, and we passed this hotel, and I'm like, Bridget, like, let's just check it out, like shoot our shot. Let's see if we can get in. And so we walk into this hotel, and oh my gosh, there are security with dogs that search your bag and sniff out, whatever they might sniff out. I don't know. Maybe drugs.
Pepto-Bismol.
Maybe Pepto-Bismol. And like this hotel, like it's filled with marble and mirrors, and it's just flowers. It's just gorgeous. And so we asked the front desk lady, again, like, where's this event, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, it's the second floor. So we go up to the second floor, and there's like this whole desk laid out where they have like a list. So you're literally getting checked in on a list. And, we line up. We finally get to that lady, and we're just like, hi, we didn't register or anything, but we're still wondering if we could possibly get in. And this whole time, like, Bridget and I were like flashing like our UN passes, which were freaking cool.
You guys are so cool.
Yeah, they were freaking cool.
UN pass.
And then they were just like, sure, right away. They made us name tags. They didn't put their hands up or anything like that. They said, sure, and that's of course. And they wrote us down on the list. And then we got name tags, and then we walk in, and we see these huge, like, television cameras, because NBC was there as well, and they were just pointed towards the stage. So I look at the stage, and there's freaking Maya Shibutani, which we'll insert a picture here, and Donna De Verona, who are both two renowned Olympians. Maya Shibutani just got back from Pyeongchang, and she won 2 bronze medals with her brother Alex Shibutani in the sport of ice dancing. So because I watch her YouTube channel already, so I was like, oh my god, Bridget.
Oh, big fan.
Literally, I was like, oh my god, Bridget, like, that's fucking Maya Shibutani. And then we were both not fangirling, I hate that term, but we were both, like shitting our pants the whole time. And then Bridget raises her hand, and she asks a question to one of the Olympians that was on the panel, and she started talking about how she was one of 3 girls who plays on the boys water polo team, which is Bridget, and the whole crowd just erupts into cheers. And it's like incredible,
There was some resonance after you hit that. It was like,
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, and so we're just sitting down, like, this is like an incredible event, and then we look at the schedule, and afterwards it says reception starts. So we're like, fucking hell, reception. Let's check it out. So the panels end and everything. Then all of a sudden, like, this wine gets brought out, and then these hors d'oeuvres get brought out, and I had lamb for the first time. They fed me lobster on a spoon.
Wait. They fed you lobster on a spoon? So they put on the spoon, they were like, here comes the airplane.
Not
and then
exactly.
you open your mouth, and you're like, and they spoon it in. You're like, shit, this really is 5-star.
No, they had like these spoons that were like propped up, It's like you could prop up the spoons, and the spoons had the lobster already on them, so it was a tray full of spoons.
Yeah.
So you just take a spoon, you know, eat it, and then they had these small little cakes.
And then wait, do you give the spoon back?
Yeah.
You're just like, thanks for that, and then you give
well,
them back.
Well, you can keep it for a while.
For a while.
I was gonna.
So
I was gonna keep it.
Can lease the spoon.
I was gonna keep it because I don't think they'll miss it. But
probably not.
Yeah. So Bridget and I were the only teens there. We were not dressed well. Everyone else was in it was like a black tie event. They were in dresses and like blazers and ties, and Bridget and I had fucking sweaters on, like sweaters and leggings, and we just were so out of place. But you know, they fucking let us in. So
did the people at the front not notice that you were the only teenagers in this whole event?
Okay. They might have not known our age. They just probably thought we were some kind of official. But we were with like the elite of that, like the elite that night, you know, of P&G.
With the elite.
Some NBC announcers were there.
Shit.
Some freaking Olympians, gold medal.
I mean, that's the top of the social ladder.
Basically.
NBC,
so now
NBC
I'm kind of
people.
By association, at the top of the social ladder.
You're in.
I'm in.
You've networked. You have the connection. If
I
you
am.
see
I talked
one
to
of
a
them
guy
now,
from Uganda.
if you see one of them now, you can say like, "Do you remember me?" And even if they say
yeah,
no,
I got
you can be like,
pictures with the Olympians.
You can be like, "Oh yeah, we were at that reception at the UN."
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Shit, that's
exactly.
right. That's you were that ginger teenager walking around."
Okay.
Taking selfies with everyone. It's probably like, "That's right.
Two
I
nice
remember you."
pictures. Two nice, very professional pictures. Okay. Anyway, it was the time of my life. It might not seem like it's a big deal. You know, it's not the most scandalous story. But just living in that moment, being like, what the fuck? You know?
That sounds pretty cool.
How'd they fucking let us in? You know? It's like we kind of crashed a party. Yeah. It's kind of amazing.
Speaking of how they fucking let us in, prom court.
Oh, fuck.
We both made prom court. We're officially two of the most 10 popular people in our school.
That's not true.
Nope, that's how it works.
Yep, top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Top 10 most
Absolutely,
popular kids.
top 10 most popular.
Prom court, yeah.
Not sure what happened there, but
yeah,
I'll take it. Free prom ticket. Hey, why not?
You know,
and a pretentious sash to wear to assert my dominance over all the other douchebags.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm representing the minority of our school. Do you realize that?
What minority?
I'm talking about all the people that aren't at the top of the social ladder. I'm like their hero. I'm talking. Well, we got the
You're not a.
We got the 4 football players and then me. Tell me how I fit in with them.
Okay.
I represent the underrepresented. And that might have been.
I am the same way.
That might have been my. If you are one of those people and you
That's
voted
not
for
true.
me, I got you. I'll make sure you feel represented.
I don't think that's how it works. Anyway, I advertised myself as a dictator.
Yeah, that was dumb. Dictators don't. You need like a coup d'etat. You just rise to power. Dictators don't usually get elected unless you're Adolf Hitler.
I know, which was super interesting because I was elected or, voted in as a dictator. They fucking voted for a dictator. That's crazy.
Well,
I don't get it. But now, I said, I kind of advertised, vote for me for prom court, whatever. Trey and I did a little Snapchat promo, whatever.
we did.
But I don't think I thought of the logistics because now I actually have to go to prom.
Yes, you are expected to go to prom now.
Yeah, and I was teetering back and forth about whether to go to prom or not. But now I have to go.
You should. It's fun.
Not everyone has the same experience.
Why?
Why? I don't know. Just
My philosophy is you should do whatever the hell you want to have the most fun.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely if I was just sitting back at home and not at prom while everyone else was at prom, I feel like it'd be missing out. But if I was doing something equally as cool,
I think a lot of people overthink it as more of a social event than it really is, and people think like, oh, I can't dance. People will make fun of my dancing.
Yeah.
But in
I can
reality,
definitely dance though.
when you're there, no one's really focusing on your dancing. They're usually focusing on themselves and having their own good time. And it doesn't matter how good at dancing you are, as long as you're moving around with the beat of the music
someone who gets like
and smiling.
Well, I love dancing.
No one would know the
That's not
difference.
I think it was more the music. Last year wasn't that good.
Oh no. That is a reason to skip your senior prom. Poor music. You know what we should have them play? Africa by Toto. That's happened since our last episode.
Oh yeah. Mr. McHenry. Oh god.
So we have a male pageant. Did we talk about how I was doing it before? Maybe that was the lost episode.
Maybe. Yeah.
So there's a male pageant for seniors at our high school.
For senior guys, yeah.
I was like, hey, why the hell not?
Yeah.
And as my talent, I had a kick-ass, breathtaking, earth-shattering rendition of the greatest song, the greatest musical work ever composed, which is Africa by Toto. And honestly,
I got the chills.
It's so good. Should we play a clip?
We should.
We'll play a clip right here. Honestly, I don't know what happened.
I know that I must do what's right. Sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside. Frightened of this thing that I become. It'll take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa.
Me either.
It just on the moment.
Came to him.
It just came to me. And I can't really sing, but right then I kind of could. So, and it helped that we were dressed as, well, my backup singers were dressed as African animals, and I was dressed as a safari master. I had a Boy Scout uniform on, and then I actually had Dylan's National Guard combat boots on.
You did?
Fun fact, I was wearing
Wow.
an army uniform.
Represent.
So, yeah. Well, I wasn't going to wear, I have a lot of shoes, and they're either running shoes or preppy shoes, and I wasn't about to wear any of those to the safari. I wasn't about to go barefoot, could step on a rattlesnake. So I wore the combat boots.
That was Trey's talent. But then your sport.
My sport, I ran the FitnessGram Pacer test.
As a sport.
Yeah. Well, it's very competitive. It's a sport.
Okay.
And then instead of the recording where it's like the FitnessGram Pacer test, I had one of my friends just say it with a microphone, and then instead of the music, I had him beatbox. It was like beep, level 2. And I was running across from stage left to stage right, and every time I'd go off, every time I'd come back on, I'd be more wet. So like I had someone off stage soaking me with a Gatorade bottle, and every lap I came back, I'd be like significantly more wet. Like I started out dry, and then all of a sudden on like the third one, I was like soaked chest down. And then I came back, and he went from level 3 to like beep, level 872. Yeah. And then the beatboxing got faster, and suddenly I was soaked. And then he was like, level 976. And then I just fell, and they dragged me out. We could play a clip of that too.
Yeah, I'm sure we have one.
Remember to run in a straight line and run as long as possible. The second time you fail to complete a lap before the sound, your test is over. The test will begin on the word start. On your mark, get ready, start. Ding. 1. Ding. 2. Ding. 84. Ding. 72. Ding. 536.
So yeah, that was a fun experience. I had a lot of fun with that. I didn't know all of them as well as I do now.
Yeah.
And
definitely, we definitely grew closer.
I never disliked any of them, but I didn't know them that well, and I definitely feel like I know them a lot better now.
Definitely.
So no, I don't regret doing it. I would do it again, and I think all of them would say the same thing.
Yeah. And I was the head of the event, if you're wondering how I was involved with that.
Yeah, Delaney just has to be the center of everything. So, of course, naturally, she was the head of that event as well. The male pageant she had to be the head of, just so there was some female representation at the top.
No, that was not.
We won't get into that. Delaney, you know Delaney, she hates females. It's fine.
Yeah, that's my new thing, hating females. Today, in government class.
Yeah, AP Comparative Government.
Yeah, my teacher was saying something about
Iran.
Women's representation in government, and how in the U.S., they're kind of taking control and, starting to run for more offices and whatnot. And I laughed, not at him, but towards Bridget.
You laughed outwards.
Outwards.
It could have been misconstrued.
Yes, I was laughing.
Because he could have thought you were looking at Bridget but laughing at him.
Yeah. But I was laughing because Bridget and I have this inside joke where we say, pink wave. Because pink wave, like females are coming to take office and whatnot. Just, a little inside joke, It's funny. But he thought I was laughing at him, and he seemed like pretty upset about it. He's like, "You're just laughing at me." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm sorry." And he apologized after class. It was kind of weird, but basically the consensus that came out of that was that I hate women. Which couldn't be more untrue.
Could not be more true. I mean,
shut up.
Ever since you started that club, Boys Learn International, I mean, why would anyone think you like women?
Yeah, and then the good old Kennedy Kosmowski
Thank God Kennedy came along and represented the women of our school. That's probably why he got into Yale.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's all right. Not everyone can be that brave.
I was wrong to start Boys Learn International.
At least you've admitted that.
I'm sorry, Kennedy, if you're watching this. I'm sorry. You did the right thing.
Okay.
What?
No, nothing. That's it. I've heard it all. I'm sure that will be manipulated in ways you wish it wasn't.
Like what?
No, nothing. I'm glad you admitted that.
I admitted that. I said it. It's not like you can take it and make me say something.
No, but I can use it all the time now.
What?
Whenever I think you're wrong, I'll just pull up the video and you'll be like, I admit it. I was wrong. And now it's at my demand whenever I want it.
Anyway, right now we're going to talk about my experience with playing Fortnite. Trey and I's experience in playing Fortnite.
Now,
and together.
Let's not add those two together. I have real experience playing Fortnite. I actually play the game.
Hey.
I play it on Xbox. I've gotten first probably a dozen times solo, and I haven't played it that much. I've probably only played like 20 games total. I think rather than using the pew-pew, you got to use the brain, all right? It's a very simple concept. It's massive, open world, 100 players, Hunger Games concept. And the best way to win is to not go out and actively hunt. The best way to win is to gather your resources that you need, establish a place to stay, and then let the other idiots, peasants if you will, destroy each other. And then, when it's down to around 5 people or less, you can come out of hiding and execute. And that is how you win every game of Fortnite. And now, when you're playing squads in Fortnite, similar concept. But a big part of this is that you should move with your squad, because you can suddenly be in a scenario where if you're segregated from the squad, the other squads are being not as dumb as you and moving together, and they will take you out because you're alone. Basically bait. And so Delaney obviously doesn't know that concept.
Move together to protect each other.
Of course.
When one is down and injured, you can, build walls or whatnot. Offer some.
The revive is key, because when you're what would normally kill you in a solo match only knocks you down in a squad match, and then you can be revived as long as they don't kill you again. And so to have another teammate with you. Not only are they an extra man to fight, but if you get down and it's a close fight, they can revive you. Now, Delaney obviously can't comprehend this concept because we were playing earlier, and what better thing is there to do in AP Literature class? We were playing a game of Fortnite. It was me, you, and Shad, and then some random. And the other random person that was paired with us died after probably a minute. Why did she die? Because she went off on her own. Now, that should have been the hint to you that you should stay with the group, but it wasn't.
I stayed with you for most of the time. You stole my med kit.
Shit, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you never said you wanted the med kit.
Yes, I did. I said, I'm like, Trey, come over here. Like, I need to get this med kit and I can't get it.
Well, did you say it at that volume? Or because you were at the other side of the room. Were you like, Trey, come over here. I need that med kit. Because I wouldn't have heard you.
Because you were like, where is it? I'm like, it's over here. Like, just follow, like, find me or whatever. So he does. He jumps right over me, gets the med kit, runs off, steals it. Finally drops it off later.
Happened.
Drops it later.
Are you sure that wasn't Chad? Because I don't remember that happening.
Really?
Anywho.
I think it was you.
I was basically taking the leadership role, as I naturally would, because I am alpha male. Dick.
Sorry.
I'm alpha male, so I naturally take the leadership role. Whatever. And I was like, squad, rally on me. We're going north, 520. And then...
I'm a free person. What can I say?
So the key to this game, we were getting shot at. Chad had been eliminated, so it was just you and me carrying the team of 4.
I followed you for a while.
We lost 2 men. It was very unfortunate, unexpected, and so I needed you to stay with me because now we could have been scenarios where it was us 2 against potentially 4 other people. Yeah. And so the key in that game is to obtain the high ground because no matter what people build, if you have the high ground, you have a line of sight that they don't have on you. And so I was entering a tower by, I believe it was Loot Lake, not sure. I was going up in a tower because I was like, Delaney, pro tip, high ground is a necessity.
Yeah, of course.
So we're going up the tower. I'm going around the staircases on the side of the tower.
Him.
Yeah, she's right behind me.
I am.
And then
he gets up to the top.
I thought there was going to be a chest.
And he says, he's like from across the classroom, he's like, oh, Delaney, there's people up here.
There was a squad.
And then there was shooting above me and footsteps, and I was like, oh, fuck.
I killed one of them. I carried, my own weight would be to kill one of them, and then your weight would be to kill the other and revive me. Because after I killed it's hard to kill 2 people at once because I was at a disadvantage. It was 2 on 1.
Yeah.
So I killed the one with the shotgun, and then the other had gotten me down. Now.
But what happened in my brain was, oh, there's people up there. Get out. So I jump off the tower and I run away.
Now, if you would have been a competent teammate, what you would have done is climb the extra 5 feet from where you were, kill the other member easily because he was already low on health, and then revived my ass. But no, all that we've learned today is that you're a little bitch and you ran away when we were in the middle of a high-stakes environment. We're in a team environment. Now, not only does this make me angry, but it makes me afraid to be with you at any point when I'm reliant on you. Because the second we hit trouble and I asked for your backup, what did you do? You jumped off the side of the tower and ran away to save your own life. And then what happened? You died a few minutes later, right?
No, but we got third.
That's great.
Because of me. Probably wouldn't have.
Probably would have won.
I like playing solo. I just thought it'd be fun to play with you guys.
So, if you're ever put in the scenario to play Fortnite squad match with Delaney, I advise you to decline. Sorry, I'm just a little worked up. Hope you enjoyed. We're back from the hiatus, probably.
Hopefully.
We'll make this a weekly thing. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments. If you have any questions or suggestions of what we should talk about, you can leave that in the comments, and we'll either talk about it or we'll tell you to go away.
Go away.
Got anything to add?
No, that's all. Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
You took that too fucking far.
You
took that too fucking far.